Hello everybody, today I wanted to make a video about the Switch 2 and why I'm excited even though I have a Steam Deck. Let's start with talking a little bit about the Steam Deck. The Steam Deck for me is the ultimate one in everything device. It can do everything. It can be your laptop, you can code, you can write scripts, you can render videos, you can do everything that you want. From playing games to be multimedia server to be anything that you actually want it to be, it will be, right? As long as the power allows it to do it, it will do it. And it's amazing. But I'm still excited for the Switch 2 because, in my opinion, it's just going to be, in a way, for the gaming aspect, a better Steam Deck. And what do I mean by that? First, let's talk about the battery life. Now, we know with the battery life, overall, when they're doing the min max and they're showing, for example, on the Switch 2, it's saying that it's going to have 2 to 6 hours of battery. And then you see the Switch OLED that is kind of bigger battery. Now, obviously, the wattages that the device is going to be running are going to be completely different from one to another. But what is really important here is that you will have way faster charging on the Switch 2 because it supports PD. And because it supports fast charging protocol, you are going to have a more kind of similar experience that you will have on the Asus ROG Ally. And it uses also 60-watt chargers. So your charging in general is going to be way faster than the Steam Deck. Because the Steam Deck OLED has pretty good battery, but when it comes to charging it back, that can take quite a while. Sometimes I have even seen it go to 3 hours myself. I can only speak for myself. I don't have averages or anything. I only speak to my experience. So for me, definitely that is something that is pretty important, especially for any kind of portable device. Having your portability be limited by the battery life. But if you have, like I'm already used because of the ROG Ally to have a battery bank, this definitely gonna be a way better situation because the battery gonna be smaller, so it's gonna be charging faster with the 60 watts. So with that being said, that is pretty good. I'm looking forward a lot to play games that, especially from Japanese, usually Japanese studios, they don't have the best track record into optimizing their games for PC. And my hope is that those games that they didn't really optimize for PC or specifically Steam Deck, that they're going to put those experiences there. And we are going to experience some games that were not really playable or like barely playable on the Steam Deck. So for that, I am hopeful. Now, this is obviously on borrowed time, right? Everyone knows when the Switch 2 comes out, when the Steam Deck 2 comes out, it's going to be more powerful than the Switch 2. Everyone knows that. I know that before I even buy this. But it doesn't bother me because for me specifically, as I said at the start, Steam Deck is the best one in all device. And the Switch 2 is going to be specifically a gaming device, mainly playing Nintendo first party games, but also whatever plays best there, I'm going to be playing it there. So that is pretty much my point. A lot of experiences that you will have pretty bad time on the Steam Deck. I would say something like Baldur's Gate 3, that it's barely playable. I wouldn't even say playable after a while on Act 2 and Act 3. So on those situations, I think that the company is going to do a better job for the Switch 2 because it's a more recent device. And if they make a port for it, they're gonna try their best to make it look good. And we have also the ability to use the DLSS, which is way better than trying to use something like FSR. That all the AMD handhelds right now are forced to use FSR, FSR1, FSR2, at best FSR3, which most of the times you are better off with XCSS anyway. Now, this may be boring talk, but this is just what I'm looking for, right? Like, I'm not like reaching for the stars that this is going to be the best device ever, but improvements for me are pretty important. So the Switch 2 definitely going to have that. One of my disappointments for the Switch 2, I have to say that as well, is that most likely I will have to switch to digital. Because if you look at it, how many games right now they are on game keycards, I'm not even gonna bother. I'm just gonna go digital and hope, and just hope that later on, companies that are doing reprints, when the prices get lower on those SD cards, they are gonna reprint the game and they're gonna reprint it and make it fully physical. Otherwise, I'm just not gonna bother because there is no need to get mad over this, right? You have to deal with what you have to deal with. That's pretty much it. It was the same for me when we changed from physical to digital on PC. I was there, ancient person, that we still were using CDs and DVDs to play our games on PC. Now we don't even have physical drives when we're making a PC build. So there is that. Now, specifically for the Switch 2, as long as I can get something that is guaranteed to be all in the cartridge, yes, that one I'm gonna prefer it, obviously. But if it's not like I'm not gonna play the game. So I have already pre-ordered some specific games like Yakuza 0, Street Fighter 6, and Nobunaga's Ambition. Those games are all game cards. I'm not gonna bother, guys. Like, I'm just gonna buy the thing digital, and it is what it is. If they change their mind later on, more than happy. So, okay, outside of the con here that I just had to say it's something that really bothers me, that the situation that Switch 2. Let's talk about what else I am excited about. Pretty much that you will be able to play as well with new features like the GameChat. Now, you may think that, oh, what is this idiot saying? You could play with your Discord and stuff. Yeah, no. You could. Who is using Discord background application when you're playing on the Steam Deck? I have never seen a human being. I have tried it as a proof of concept, but then so many times it will stop working or it wouldn't read some of my things. So you may think that it's so stupid, but when you go down to actually use Discord when you're playing a game on Steam Deck, it is not really good. So definitely looking over to be able to play and not use my freaking phone on the Discord app to be able to play with my friends. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that, and I'm looking a lot forward to the camera. It's one of the aspects that I feel that some people that don't really interact with people the way that I do, but for me, like close friends and family, that I will be able to see them because they're in Greece, I'm in Australia. The only ways to communicate and have some fun time with family, for me, is through that, right? Through some games, through voice calls that I'm doing FaceTime. So for me, this is a pretty good outlet, especially talking to my best friend that is in Greece right now. Using that, it's amazing that like you will be able to play your game, see your silly face, I'm gonna make fun of you and stuff like that. So for me, it's just pretty fun idea and concept. I know not everyone is onto it, and a lot of people don't even use Discord, so it's not really a huge deal, but for me it's pretty good deal. And to be able to do like couple fights with me and my wife and other people that like on camera, especially for things like Mario Party and Mario Kart, seeing people's angry faces, it's just fun. You know, a lot of people may not even think that it's cool, but for me it's like almost the coolest thing about the Switch 2. Outside of that, what else is there? Now, of course, I already spoke about the power, and most likely that people are gonna optimize better for the Switch 2. But I also look forward for a lot of games that are on PS4 and PS5 that have like kind of can be scalable to the Switch 2. So we will be able to have a lot of great experiences of games on the PS4 that we never really got to play on the Switch 1. The schematics and all of that, I feel that it's gonna be way better than I expect with the new Joy-Cons and stuff like this. I don't really think it's gonna be a problem because they already lived their nightmare. So I don't think they're into to be into another nightmare that they're gonna have everyone be angry at them about the Joy-Cons. The only thing I'm not sure about is the grip. Now, I have been told by a lot of people saying if you have big hands now, it's gonna be good. So, I have already ordered from Satisfy a grip, but it turns out Satisfy kind of not really fun company to work with. While they had, they had their pre-orders and saying, yeah, you're gonna get it on launch. Now suddenly the launch became August, and I kind of hate that, but I don't want to cancel from another point because their stuff is really good, so I'm not gonna cancel. But this kind of gonna give me an opportunity to just feel the whole thing as it should be, and hopefully it will work fine for my big hands. And if you're a big hand enthusiast as well, like if you have seen my hands pretty big, so yeah, like if you have big hands, definitely you're gonna get a taste from the when I get the device. Now, overall, I think that this device is not gonna be like the hugest deal in the world because I already had the Steam Deck. I already had the better power from the Switch 1 for me. But for me, it's going to be those upgrades. Like, oh yeah, finally, the thing that I wanted. I wanted a Switch 1 with more power, better controls, and faster charging, right? Like, that's pretty much what I wanted. And that's pretty much what this is, plus the extra stuff with emulation, and plus the extra stuff with the GameChat, which I found pretty cool. So for me, I'm pretty much set. Like, I don't really have any crazy expectation that this is gonna change my life and how I play games. No, it's not gonna be that, but it's gonna be a pretty cool upgrade, and I'm gonna enjoy playing games there. So yeah, I yapped quite a bit about this, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Tell me in the comments below what you expect. What do you expect if you have a Steam Deck or if you have like an ROG Ally or some other handheld? What are your expectations for the Switch 2? Do you even consider getting it on launch, or you're like, okay, I'm gonna wait and see? Because we used to say, I'm gonna wait for a sale. That probably doesn't even happen these days, right? Like, even on the Switch 1, do you even see like sales? So I don't think that's gonna be a thing, but maybe a lot of people are gonna be like, okay, I'm just gonna wait and see the support and the games and all of that, and then, like, I'm gonna wait for the next Super Smash Bros. That's gonna get me hyped to get a Switch 2. And I totally understand that, right? A lot of people, I'm pretty sure that they got the PS5. Now they're going through the remorse of action, right? Like, oh, I didn't have to get this because now all the PS5 games are getting on PC. I have a PC. This is not really cool. And yeah, I get that. I get that. But at least you kind of are sure that like the Switch games are not getting on the PC. So at least you have some kind of a safety in your head that, hey, at least I'm buying this device to play these specific games that I really want to play. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Let me know about your thoughts. I hope you have a great day. See you next time.